Okay. Last recording of the day, I promise. I'm just having so much fun, actually recording that I just can't stop now. But I'll try to make it as far as I can this with this shot right here. Um, I may have to pause it at one point because I just had a lot of food. I had fucking chicken fried rice and some fucking French toast stick. I know, weirdest meal ever. So what? So let's continue. Sun shines from a perfectly clear, ser- serene. Is that serene or is that cerulean? Cerulean? Yeah, cerulean sky. Cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to just a few weeks ago. Emmy settles on the bench with Rin in tow and produces one big and two small lunch boxes from her bag. Come on, Hassao, what are you waiting for? She is beckoning me to join them, making room on the already small bench. God, lag! Yep, there goes my frames. Dropping like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop them frames, man. Drop it like it's hot. I seat myself on the corner of the bench to take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all three of us fit on it. Impressive view. Emmy suppresses a giggle and places a lunchbox in front of Rin and hands another lunchbox to me. Here you go, lunch as promised. Homemade no less, I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good. Thanks, made it myself when I can. Well, I make it myself when I can. Thought it said made. Conversation dies off as I said about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a forkful of food into her mouth using only her feet. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed at her dexterity. It's also a reminder of the sort of place I am in right now. Will I ever get used to sights such as this? Can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing, or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Nah, just gotta accept it, man. Or does it mean that I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? I'm distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch as if it had insulted her ancestors. She's like, "You motherfucker, I'm gonna eat the shit out of you." You seem pretty hungry. Emmy looks up, mouth half full, and swallows before nodding. My morning run always works up an appetite, which is great because I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure. What would happen if you'd lose it? Would you become a man? I nearly choke on my lunch trying not to laugh. It's a figure of speech, Rin. Does your figure have to run in the mornings too? Do you always talk like this? Talk like what? I think that answers my question. Never mind. I struggle to think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How do you two meet? Rin seems content to let Emmy answer this question. Someone in the housing department thought that we'd complement each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to one another. Complement each other? Like shoes and a suit. Huh? Emmy giggles at my confusion. Puts us together and put us together and we've got all limbs. Get it? Ah. I don't even want to know what those two would fucking. That'd be like. I don't even know, dude. That'd be like a fucking. She could kick the shit out of people and strangle people if it was one person. So I started helping Ren get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along. I see. Ren chooses this moment to interject. I have trouble with shirts. Right, that seems fairly obvious. Really? Kind of. This isn't helping, but at least Emmy seems to find the whole thing funny. That combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms, so putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm going to just stop talking now. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods in what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner. I see. The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. It's really quite good. Emmy finishes her lunch first and makes a contented noise. Ah, that was good. As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Rin speaks up. I'm thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot about that. Sorry. With a flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to Rin that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk. Ew. Complete with pink color scheme, and keeps equally pink box of same kind of fruit punch for herself. Rin dexterously stabs her straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. I'm once again impressed by how flexible she is, but this time I keep my comment to myself. Somehow I don't think either Emmy or Rin are the sorts of people to think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Rin especially so. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision in another matter, I'm honestly not sure. So, Sal, how'd you like it up here? It's quite nice, actually. I like high places, for the view. Thanks for inviting me up here. And for the lunch, too. Emmy grins a 1,000-watt smile, pleased by my response, I suppose. No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time, too, okay? I won't make you a lunch, but you can bring your own up here. No lunch service? I don't know. Emmy looks mock offended. Trying to take advantage of my good nature? The nerve. She giggles. Well, if that's your answer, I guess Rin and I will keep just eating lunch all alone. I'm suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rending puppy dog eyes I've ever seen as Emmy pouts. Kidding. I was kidding. I'd love to eat lunch up here again. Good location and the company's okay, too. Emmy frowns a bit by my declaration of okay, but seems happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. Guess this makes us friends now, or at least acquaintances. Lunch bell rings, signaling a return downstairs. Rin, you didn't finish your lunch again. I wasn't that hungry. If you don't eat more, you're going to fade away. Rin shrugs, as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we better get going. Three of us head down the stairs together. The afternoon class passes. Once again, I found myself without a plan for something to do after school, so I head to the library and to return a couple of the books I finished reading. Walking inside, I see that there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday, all the more evident from the almost total silence enveloping in the room. Oh, shit. As I drop the books I'd borrowed into the return slot of the counter, Yugo suddenly pops out from behind it, quite startled from the banging they make as they hit the trolley next to her. Sorry, Yugo, didn't mean to startle you. No, that's fine, it happens. A lot. I'm used to it by now. Can I help you? It's okay. I think I know where everything is. Thanks. Anyway, had to catch my breath. Suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do, and after reading so much during my stay in the hospital, it's become a hard habit to break. I wander down to the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. As I do, I look over the corner where Hanako had been the last time I was here, not really expecting anything to come of it, and she's there. Of course she is. Surprisingly, though, she's there, absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. I decide against intruding on her like last time and get back to finding reading material. After an indiscernible amount of time spent pursuing the aisles, I finally decide on a couple of books to get and slide them off the shelf. With a minimum of fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter, check out my books, and pop them into my bag as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset isn't too far away. A small trickle of students remain, but the majority have left. presumably to their homes or dorms. I guess I need to buy some supplies. I can't live off cafeteria food and eating out for my entire stay here. As I leave for the gate, I make a few loud stretches and try to stave off the tiredness that's accumulated over the week. After passing through the and rounding the corner, though, I see a solitary figure walking downhill towards the small town below. The color of her hair and tapping of her cane are unmistakable. Quickly walk up to her, which seems to catch her attention without a word needing to be said. Hi, Lily. She takes a moment to place the voice, slightly adjusting her head to face a bit more towards the sources of my voice as she does. Hisao? Yep, that's me. She seems to have a good memory of voices. The fact that she actually remembered is a pleasant surprise. Good evening, what brings you here? Once again, she gives a small polite bow, and once again I reply in kind before realizing that I needn't do so. Just going into town. You? My, what a coincidence. Doing the same thing, eh? What are we, getting it out? I usually go shopping on Fridays. She pauses for a moment, suddenly looking a little lost. That said, Hanako usually comes into town with me. Not lost, but worried. The two do seem to keep pretty close tabs on one another. It's kind of surprising that Hanako would just forget Lily like that. I noticed her reading in the library. She probably just got caught up in a book. She lets out a small sigh of relief. Thank you. She has a habit of doing that. Avid reader? Right. She doesn't like being around crowds of people, so reading away from everyone lets her relax a bit. Although she probably didn't intend it, can't help but grimace as I recall my first meeting with her. Hardly wanting to bring it up, I remain silent as we quietly continue to walk down the quiet road. What? Tack, 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 tack. Is that the sound of her cane? With the road bereft of cars and the students of Yamaku increasingly far behind us, the quiet rustling of the leaves and measured tapping of Lily's cane against the sidewalk are all that can be heard. It's kind of nice, especially compared to the hustle and bustle of where I used to live. Before I know it, I've relaxed so much that a loud yawn escapes before I can control it. Can you stop that, man? You're making me yawn. Even the mentioning of the word yawn will make me yawn. Don't do it. Tired? Yeah, been running ragged these past few days. That's an understatement. Oh my god, what the fuck is going on? That's an understatement. To be sure. Transferring into a different school would be bad enough, but nothing like this. Well, hopefully everything should settle down for you. The festival's got everyone in a spin right now, and you've been plopped right in the middle of things. For a moment, I hesitate, but given her apparent tolerance for frankness, I decided to give my full thoughts. Oh. I always wondered what that did. I guess Yamaku's kind of different, though. I mean, the formality surrounding everything, the isolation around it, not to mention the most obvious difference. It's kind of a whole different mindset. I suppose I'll get used to it, though, in time. She gives a matter-of-fact nod, apparently pleased with my answer. Feels almost as if she's included me in the flock of students she's shepherding. Along with class 3-2 and Hanako. Well, not that I mind. It's nice to get the thoughts off my chest in any case. Looking on the bright side, one could see it as a chance for a new beginning. You should cherish the ability to make friends. That's optimistic nonetheless. It's good to have a positive attitude about such things, I suppose. I guess that's a good take on it. Walking on down the road, she seems to become somewhat unsettled. Before I can ask what's on her mind, she seems to collect herself and speak and speaks up about something else. So where in town were you going? That's actually a pretty good question. I'd come in to buy food, but the layout of the place is still totally foreign to me. I had intended to just wander around and see what I could find, but with sunset already approaching and nightfall not too far away, that doesn't seem very wise. Going to have to ask her for directions. Again. Don't you feel salty? You have to ask a blind person for directions. Well, actually, that's not too salty. It would be very salty if you asked someone who didn't have arms, legs, and was blind for directions. That would be pretty damn salty. Hold up. Need a drink. Throat is dry. All this reading, man, gets to you. Ugh. I was just going to get some food, but now that you mention it, I don't really know the way. Well, nah, this is quite lucky. I was about to go to the convenience store myself. Looks like I'll be in your care then. Thanks. Together we walk to the store. My pace is carefully slowed to remain beside her. Compared to my usual walking pace, hers is quite a bit slower. Not that it's without reason. After what couldn't be more than several minutes, I catch sight of our objective. This town really is pretty small. Without further ado, we make our way inside with a greeting from the counter. Hey, welcome to the store. You buy now. Mind if I tag along with you? Usually Hanako would help me, but seeing as she's not here, it takes a moment before I realize what she means. Considering she wouldn't be able to read any of the labels, shopping without any help would be a big pain for her. That said, I can't shake the feeling that she'd had this idea since I said I was coming here. Sure, it'd be my pleasure. I grab two well-used red baskets from a small stack beside the entrance, handing one to Lily. She lays it on the ground, putting her school bag in, retracting her cane and sliding it through the basket's handle before picking it back up in her right hand. Wait, if she doesn't use her cane... gonna lag it! Nah, frame rate stabilized, we're good. Before I can complete the thought, she comes beside me and pinches the cuff of my uniform in her slender fingers. Is this alright? Sure. I have no reason not to accept. I can think of worse things than shopping with a pretty girl holding on to me, even if it isn't. Even if it is out of necessity, it's a good way to think about it. Nah, just be like, hell yeah. We navigate our way through the store, with not one of the occasional passing customers seeming to bat an eyelid. Concerning how close Yamaku is, I guess seeing students from there must be entirely normal for the local residents. As we reach each aisle, I quickly check with Lily and find out what she needs. I grab it along with what I'm looking for and put our items into our respective baskets. Damn. Excuse me. That's gonna be like a normal thing. Just saying, because I drink a lot of stuff on camera to try and keep my throat from drying out. So, yeah, expect that a lot and expect an apology each fucking time because it ain't going nowhere until I at least get this entire playthrough finished. I guess it's the same routine she and Hanako follows every Friday. Right, all that's left is the bread, and that should be my shopping done. Do you need anything else, Lily? No, this should be everything. Off we go then. With a quick side trip to the bakery section, we make our way to the registers. The line, thankfully, is almost non-existent. It's not long before we've both paid for our food and are out the door. As Lily retrieves her cane and extends it to full length, I waste a minute looking upwards at the night sky while holding both of our bags. For a moment I try to make clouds with my breath, but the summer's heat doesn't seem to cooperate. Eventually, she rights herself, taking a quick stretch before taking her bag and leaving me to my two. You tired as well? Festival preparations have been complete chaos. Shizune breathing down my neck doesn't exactly help things either. Hey, she's only trying to get everything organized. Better now than later, right? I suppose. I'm going to enjoy relaxing in town tomorrow. That's for certain. I guess the festival preparations must be taking their toll on both of them. We walk out into the quiet street, talking between ourselves as we carry our bags of food and supplies from the store. Wait, what's that? I notice a very distinctive figure making its way towards us, silhouetted by the street lamps. For a second, I think it's another male student from my class, but as he, or should I say she, gets closer, I recognize her quickly. It's fucking Rin. Rin, what are you doing out here so late? Rin. Lee perks her head, looking at like she's trying to focus on listening more keenly. It suddenly comes to me what I should probably interpret the scene for. It's Rin, Tezuka, I think was her last name, from our school. She stiffens at the name and gives a complicated-looking expression, something like a forced fusion of a composed smile and painful cringe. I understand. I guess Lily knows Rin, too. Rin turns to look at us, looking terribly out of it. No surprise there. I'm not entirely sure if she recognizes either of us, or at least she doesn't acknowledge it if she does. She looks like a zombie, or a statue of a zombie. Mindfuck. But slowly some symptoms of understanding it seem to light in her dark eyes. This is something she must react to. Rin blinks once, very thoroughly. Hello. That's all she ever said, just hello. Hello there. There's an quiet pause, an awkward pause, I mean. Everyone waiting for someone else to say something. What are you doing here this late? I was wondering about that myself too just now. So you forgot what you were doing. Some people asked that just before. I assume they were wondering the same. They didn't know. They didn't know either. Hold up a second. Oh! I must say, I love how this thing fucking records, but it doesn't actually say how many minutes you've recorded. It only says how many seconds. Like 1300 seconds. I didn't know. They didn't know either. I asked. That's why I'm wondering. So that was pretty much it. It's a murder mystery without a murder. We're going that way. She turns facing it to her right in order to demonstrate the direction the other people went, to as if that was important, and rotates back to the mechanical puppet in one of the like a mechanical puppet in one of those overly complicated clockworks. For a person who gives an impression of being the quiet type, Rin really does use a lot of words to say things that don't need a lot to be said. Unsure if she's finished, I say nothing, neither does Lily, who seems equally robbed of words for the time being. I think that both of us are, in fact, just scared that any response might provoke her to continue. That's so fucking insulting. It's just like, we don't want you to talk anymore. You talk way too crazily. I don't think that's how you spell stupefied, but I think I don't really care. Our stupefied lack of reaction doesn't faze Rin at all. She keeps looking at us expectantly, a calm hint of expression on her blank face. She seems to be that kind of person, always so relaxed. As if bowl elephant grade sedatives were flowing in her veins in the place of blood. Do you have amnesia? I don't recall you having anything of the sort, though. No, I don't think it's that. I think she's just crazy. The other passerby were probably just worried, though. You do look really lost, the way you're standing in the middle of the street. Oh, I see. Maybe I should have taken some other kind of pose in that case. I ponder for a while whether I should chase this angle further or give up for the sake of my own sanity. I decide on the latter. Seems that most of the time it's better not to read too deeply into what Rin is babbling about. Talking with Rin is like playing chess with a supercomputer who does seemingly completely random moves as if to mock everything you know about chess. It's like that, except with human interaction. Yeah, that's about it in a nutshell. Even if I win, it feels like losing. Mm. Damn, it's just like Kenji said. Even when I win, I lose. Is this the power of the girls of Yamaku? I push the thought aside as too dangerous to consider further. It's probably just Kenji's anti-female propaganda getting to me during a moment of weakness. Yeah, maybe taking another pose might have worked. So anyway, you have no idea what you're doing here? She frowns, looking extremely displeased at either my question, its consequences, or the answer she's about to give. I do have some idea. Can't really tell what kind of an idea. That sounds like progress, at least. Lily sounds as if she spotted an opening for some kind of discernibly normal conversation. Can't say I share her optimism. Yes, there is some, definitely. The rest will come later. I'm sure of it. I always have reasons. At first, like playing through this, I thought she was like a mass murderer or some shit that killed people by like kicking the shit out of them. Just like kicking the fuck out of them. Just like, sir, what was the cause of death? He got the shit kicked out of him. The ensuing silence kills Lily's hopes all too visibly. That didn't last long. Rin's, as far as I can tell, unbased. Assurances aside, what should be done? We could just leave her to her own devices, whatever those are, but it's late, and I don't think we'll be getting any thanks if Rin is found standing here in the middle of the night. Which she probably will, unless she manages to remember what she was doing here in the first place. As for me, trying to guess of what might have been going on in her mind when she decided to embark on this adventure, the chances seem to be on par with winning the lottery. Several times in a row. Lily is oddly quiet too. I'd appreciate some support from the sidelines here, especially if she's more familiar with Rin than I am. But it can't be helped. It seems her familiarity with Rin is exactly why she's staying subdued. So I assume you were going somewhere, not coming back to school. Any idea where? Her eyes widen in shock, and she jolts back in a somewhat artificial way, making it seem like an act rehearsed for situations like this. Are you a mind reader? Is that your disability? How unique. No, what? Why would you think that? You knew what I was doing. I love that expression. It's just like, what? She's like, huh? It was just an educated guess. We walked the same street in the other direction just before I get to the store. If you're going to school, we would have met you on the way. Oh. She looks a little disappointed. Like Kenji, Rin appears quick to jump to completely irrational conclusions. Maybe it's something in the water here. I'll make a mental note to stock up on soft drinks. You know, that is the second time this week that someone asked me if I was a mind reader. Do I really give off that impression? Rin shrugs her shoulders, which is all the answer I get. You know, maybe you should come with us back to the school. Lily interjects just as I'm about to further debunk my alleged mind-reading capabilities. She sounds rather concerned, with a paper-thin smile on her face badly disguising that fact. And in 3 minutes I have to fucking pause because I have to go check on dinner. I know that was not on the fucking thing, I just had to add it in there. Maybe she came to the same conclusion I did, for everyone's sake. I decide not to let the mind-reading topic drop, as it's entirely insane anyway. Or inane, apparently. I think they misspelled. Yeah, Lily's right. If you can't remember, there's no point in staying here. Rin considers this rather simple deduction for a moment, then nods. Okay. Ugh. We start towards the school again, having wasted way more time than necessary with this episode. Wow, how ironic. I feel that I've spent way too much time recording, but it's just fun. Rin walks along the edge of the sidewalk with her a rhythmic way, looking like a mix of sleepwalker and rope dancer, while Lily keeps one hand on my shoulder, tapping at the ground with her cane. Tap, step, step, tap, tap, step, step, step. Apart from that and a few fragmented beginnings of a conversation, it's quiet. Quite apart from the relaxed one into town at that. My back fucking itches. So how's the mural going? We are going to get bad luck. Never talk about works in progress. Sure, it'll be wonderful. Bad luck. Tap this, tap step, tap step. She doesn't care to talk about it. Lily's politeness feels out of place for the first time. Step, step, step. The hill Yamaku rests on top of is surprisingly steep. Going uphill, we slow the pace, but I still feel my pulse rising and breathing getting heavier. Almost there. I can see the gates already. More than that, though, I notice that Lily's hand slightly tightens on my shoulder, interpreting that it is as a gesture that she wants to ask something. I speak up. Anything wrong, Lily? I resist the urge to say, aside from our traveling companion, but only just. For the moment, she seems to debate whether she should even bring it up, but goes for it anyway. Is everything alright? Alright? How do you mean? The fact that I can't interpret her incredibly vague question puts her off. For a second. Hold on. Oh shit, I just bumped the fucking mic. Almost said camera. I do not have... Oh no! I dropped it. I do not have a camera. It's just, you seem unusually tired, I guess. Now that she brings it up, I notice that my breathing is strangely heavy. That uphill walk has really done a job on me. Lily noticed it all too quickly. Now, I think that the last time I did this, I got the bad ending overall for the entire thing, which results in you dying. So, yeah, going with this. It's alright, I just need to catch my breath. My condition isn't the best these days. Oh. Is it something that is related to you being transferred here? I mean, she cuts herself off rather abruptly, maybe realizing that she was being a bit too intrusive. Her instincts are sharp enough, and while I don't like the subject, it's not like I should lie about it. If it's Lily, I don't think I mind. Just a little weak for the time being. Hanako said you look fairly healthy, so I naturally thought. Lily doesn't finish her sentence again, letting it trail off with a measure of concern. As she furrows her brow, Lily's uncomfortable expression spurs me to say at least something to ease her feelings. Surprising, she's this flustered, considering her straightforward attitude with her own blindness. She must know that not all share her own comfort about such things. No, it's okay. I guess the best way to put it would be messed up heart. Arrhythmia. I had a bad heart attack a while ago because of it, and spent most of the spring in a hospital. Ended up in Yamaku on doctor's orders. She sadly nods her head in acknowledgement. My answer, though, only seems to make Lily furrow her brow even further. She doesn't seem to quite know how to react, given we don't really know each other all other than that. Can't fucking read. Can't really fault her for it, given I have the exact same reaction. To my surprise, in a moment's time, her face shows that she comes to a sort of realization. Wait. So the time when Emmy and you collided in the hallway? I grimaced slightly. Her ability to connect the dots quite so fast is unexpected. Yeah, I guess I'm a textbook example of why those rules about running in the corridors exist. Oh, shit. I gotta get more comfortable, and I also have to go check on my food, so, yeah. Pausing it. Okay. That was a lot more dry than I'd intended. Lily visibly shies away from continuing the topic. Well, I do want to assuage, assuage her concern. Really don't want to dwell on this either. Don't worry about it. Try to offer a reassuring smile that, but then I realize the futility. Without knowing this, Lily smiles at me reassuringly, but doesn't say anything further. All this reading, man, it's knocking the wind out of me because I'm trying to read, quicker. And if I read quicker, then I tend not to fuck up on words as much. That's why. That's another main reason on why I'm trying to read quicker. Because I tend not to fuck up on words if I read quick. I tend to actually read everything perfectly. So, 1 second. It's go time. Let's do it! Arriving at the dorms, Rin stops in front of her mural as if lightning struck her. She had been so quiet for almost all of the walk back that I had all but forgotten she was there. Well, here. It's Friday, isn't it? Yes, Friday, the 8th of June. This is bad. Bad? Why? I think I am going to go in a fetal position and throw up, possibly in reverse order. Just fetal position or fetal position. Just there on the ground, just in a fetal position. Just chucking up. Something wrong? No, nothing is wrong. It's Friday and nothing is wrong yet. This mural, it's going to need to be finished by Sunday, so everything's all right. Do you have any drugs or a time machine? I love that line. Do you have any drugs? Yeah, I do. You want some? This is not good. Not good. So she's behind her schedule. Recalling Shizune's exasperation at Rin's carefree attitude several days ago, I don't know what to think. She has left herself open for told you so, unless she can pull off whatever she needs to pull off by Sunday morning. Rin keeps staring at her mural, looking as mortified as she can. Leave me. I'm going to need to work for a while. I glance at Lily, expecting her to share an incredulous look with me as I roll my eyes, but then I realize she's not one to do that kind of thing. Leave me. We do, of course, not wanting to aggravate her any more than she already is. This is a churning bad feeling in my. There's a churning bad feeling in my gut. Rin sure has a knack of making people feel worried about her. She's really like a person who should never be left alone, or not without medication. Just here, take these happy pills. Ah! Maybe we should call someone. She sounded like she was going into shock or something. Sure she will be just fine. She's just, how to say, Lee cocks her head a little, trying to find a polite way of calling Rin crazy without calling her crazy. Unique. Yes, a very unique person. Unique meaning crazy, crazy meaning insane, and all the things above. Guess you could say that. She giggles at the notion melodiously? Melodiously? I guess so. I guess that's how you would say melody is, like melodious. Melodiously, nodding in agreement. Sorry about leaving you stranded as you talk to her. I don't really understand her, so I keep my distance. My guess was right. Lily offers a slight apologetic smile as if she was sorry that her own shortcomings have prevented her from becoming closer to Rin. I'm not one to blame her at all. Lily lets us slip a long breath, probably a disguised yawn. I imagine she's exhausted by all this as I am. God damn you, it's all you mentioned the word yawn. I'd better leave now and give these to Hanako. Thanks for your company, Hisao. She smiles very sweetly at me. It feels different than normal, despite the fact that she seems to be smiling so often. Can't put my finger on what the difference is, just different. Relaxed, I'd say, but that's probably just relief over getting rid of Rin, maybe. Yeah, good night. Say hi to Hanako for me. I will. Good night. This kind of just being like, say hello to your mom for me. It's just, nah. Just tell your mother I'll be by later. Nah. The students roll into class for the Saturday morning session. I would be pissed for school on fucking Saturdays. That's bogus. Each and every one of them sporting the tired eyes of people that have worked through the night. With only one day left to, with only a day left to prepare, I suppose it's not so surprising. Thankfully, we only have to suffer through classes until the lunch break, and then our time is our own. Matao lurches into class in a tired stagger, like, damn, kids, drinking is a hell of a thing. I suppose students aren't really the only people here that enjoy their late Friday nights. Wouldn't say a word. He scrawls some page and question numbers on the board and slumps down at his desk. Just damn hangover. It's completely atypical behavior for him, but it appears that no one in the class is going to call him out on it. Wordlessly, the students shuffle their textbooks into position and get to work. Not wanting to break the trend, I do the same. Fatigue has made the class antisocial. Not a peep is heard among the ruffling papers. That can partly be attributed to the two empty seats beside me. For some reason, Misha and Shizune aren't present, probably doing a student council work for the festival. It's very quiet without Misha present. I wonder if she was born so rowdy as she is, or if she is making up for Shizune's lack of voice. Nakai, can I speak with you for a moment? Or to you for a moment? I'm so used to saying with that it kind of fucks me up with the sentences like those. I'm engrossed in thinking about Misha that I don't even notice Matao approaching my desk. Sure, what's this about? It's probably better if we speak outside the classroom. Something about this doesn't sound too good, but I stand up and follow him out into the hallway. Matao stands in the hallway, scratching his head as he works out what he is trying to say. Not knowing what is going on, I wait silently. So tell me, how are things? Things? I expected Matao to be a little vague, but this is pushing the limit. You know, things. You've had a week to settle in now, so how are things? Fine, I guess. I see. And how is your condition? The pause before condition seemed a little unnecessary. Haven't had any problems so far. A brief shimmer of relief passes across Matao's face. This dude's face never changes. What are you talking about? This dude always has the same drugged up expression as every other fucking day. Good, that's good. School nurse was a little concerned that you might have been pushing yourself a bit too hard. He asked me to keep an eye on you when he couldn't. That makes sense. I'd ask that you don't blow us off so freely. As much as we try to give you the level of education that you would get at a normal school, you have to realize that you have limits. Our goal is to make sure that you know where those limits are and how to maximize your potential within them. Do you follow me? I guess. I mean, I don't plan on doing anything stupid. Oh, you will do something stupid. It happens. Well, that's a start, I guess. It's fucking scripted. You will have issues. So then, on to my next question. How are you finding your studies? I understand you were laid up for a while. We're not too far ahead, are we? I don't really think so. I tried to keep up when I was in the hospital, so it hasn't been too hard. Matao taps his chin and raises his eyebrows. He absorbs this information. She's like, philosophy. Alright, you gotta pause it for 1 second. Okay. Is that so? I suppose there are still students out there that realize the importance of learning. I wouldn't go that far. I was only trying to keep myself occupied in my little life support prison. Well, yeah, you've got to keep up with these things, right? That's exactly it. One wrong move in this world and you're left behind, right? Right. Wouldn't want that to happen. No, you wouldn't. Every week, there's a new scientific discovery. Most of them mean nothing to the layperson, but any one of them could be the key to the next big thing. I'll keep that in mind. It's obviously that Matao's serious talk is over and he's gone back to his standard, slightly scatterbrained approach to life. Scatterbrained. I think in hindsight that I prefer him this way. He's slightly more predictable in his unpredictability. That makes no sense! If you're unpredictable, then how can you predict things? Then how can people predict you if you're unpredictable? Well then, I think that's all I really had to say. Let's get back inside, shall we? My relief at that suggestion is insurmountable. Sure, you're the boss, right? Matao pauses for a moment. I don't think any of my students have ever said that to me before. For an instant, I consider replying to this, but something deep within me tells me to shut my mouth and get back into the classroom. Just, Sal? Hey, Sal, this is your inner mind, man. Shut the fuck up and get back in that classroom. We got shit to do. A few of the students jump at the sound of the door, rapidly trying to pretend that they are working on the questions on the board. Some don't even bother, their heads slumped on the desk as they nap. Thankfully, it would appear that Matao does not even notice them. He returns to his desk and retrieves a scientific journal from one of his drawers. I guess I got to him there. The class returns to the near silence that Matao and I left it in before our chat. Mixed feelings of tiredness and anticipation buzz around the room. Everyone here is either waiting for the chance to rest or the chance to get their last-minute preparations underway. The clock on the wall slowly ticks the remaining class time away until finally the bell cries out, ending the torment. And I need to turn this up a bit because it's a bit quiet. Fuck it. There's no loud-ass music right now. His music is pretty quiet, so we're good. Before you all leave, I expect the answers for those problems by Monday. Class size as one, instantly regretting slacking off, but still acutely aware of the more pressing issues at hand. The classroom empties in a blink as everyone rushes to their last-minute festival preparations. I stay behind and try to quickly finish the questions so I don't have to bother with it over the rest of the weekend with the festival and all tomorrow. Apart from me, Hanako is the only one left. Obviously waiting for Lily. It's weird that Lily comes all the way to our classroom to pick her up. I expect that moving around is at least nominally harder for her than it is for Hanako. It's none of my business, and I naturally don't ask about it from Hanako. Despite the relative proximity of our seats, neither tries to strike up a conversation about that or anything else either. So an oppressive silence falls upon the classroom. Time passes in silence. It's probably just 15 minutes or so, but it feels longer. Turn the pages of my textbook. Hanako turns pages of the novel she's reading. My pencil lead splinters against the paper just when I was about to finish her paragraph. Sound of my irritated sigh and subsequent fumbling around for a sharpener feel like they're breaking the mood in the classroom. Hanako keeps her eyes firmly away from my direction. Before long, Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. Hanako? She just said, Zoom! Her name is all it takes to make Hanako jump up from her desk and run to Lily. And I am going to stop it here and start one more. Because this is, special. I want you guys to be able to enjoy this. So, yeah, I'll do one more. But that's it. That's it, you hear me? I'm just trying to get to Act 2 because it takes forever, and I want to see where I ended up.